Right now in DC News Now, Storm Watch. We're gearing up for the first winter storm of the year, when it moves in, and how much wintry weather you can see in your neighborhood. Plus, breaking news, a school shooting in Iowa on the first day back from winter break. What police are saying at the scene. And a courtroom plunges into chaos as a judge passes down her sentence. Conflict over SNAP changes, the argument over the recent changes aimed to help those on SNAP.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Breaking this afternoon, police are on the scene of a shooting at a high school in Perry, Iowa. Police say the situation began just after 7:30 this morning. Investigators say that the shooter is believed to be dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and they say that 3 students have been injured following the shooting. This was the first day back at school for the Perry Community School District following winter break. The county's emergency management team said that during a news conference that all schools have been evacuated in the area, and they say that there's no threat to the community at this time. Well, meteorologist Damon Matson joins us now with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, things are quiet right now, but we know something's coming.
They sure are. Good to see you, by the way, Mark.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year. Been a little while, but yeah, on the weather front here, we are still remaining quiet. Those clouds are a little ominous out there, but don't worry, folks. We're not talking about any major weather until Saturday, when we see that storm system we've been talking about for a few days. That is when it will arrive. Now, the clouds out there, they prevented us from getting too cold last night. That was one benefit, thankfully, of that. Low temperatures waking up early this morning. It was down in the low 30s as you went to the west, but closer to D.C., it stayed in the upper 30s and closer to that 40-degree mark. So that was at least a nice little treat to kick off our day. But no question about it, the clouds are being very persistent. At times, there have been a couple of areas of light snowflakes, some light sprinkles as well, but precipitation really will continue to be at a minimum, especially as this cloud cover does start to clear up. As we progress along through the afternoon, there will be more breaks of sunshine, and then just before the end of the day, we're going to see things turn rather clear as high pressure rolls its way in. Temperatures will start to drop quite a bit too as we go toward the night tonight, thanks to that clear sky. And this colder air that starts to roll in for Friday, well, that's part of the setup that is beginning to take shape then as we see that storm system arrive on Saturday. And now that we have another day under our belts here, folks, yes, the threat for all various types of precipitation is still there. We're talking rainfall, we're talking snow, and for parts of the area, freezing rain and sleets will also be a concern, making things rather icy out there at times. So coming up in your full forecast, we'll break down who exactly sees these various types of precipitation, how much snow could fall for parts of the area, and we'll talk about when this storm system will begin to move its way out. Again, that's coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, looking forward to that. And as the DMV preps for the winter storm this weekend, crews are out pre-treating the roads to help keep drivers safe in parts of the region. Could see snow, as Damon was just talking about, maybe some more than others, but some areas are getting ready and want to be prepared no matter what, and that includes the Fredericksburg area in Virginia. A crew started prepping the roads at 11:15 today. Artosim Fakile hit the roads this morning to talk about VDOT's plan.
VDOT says they'll start on I-95 southbound at exit 150 Joplin Road in Prince William County all the way into Caroline County. Crews will then turn around at exit 98 Doswell in Hanover County and pre-treat travel lanes on I-95 northbound to exit 150. And they're not the only ones in prep mode. In Montgomery County this evening, officials there will be talking about their storm preparations as well.
We're approaching about 2 years since even recording an inch of snow at National or BWI. And as often happens, it's quite possible there'll be a lot of traffic at pharmacies, grocery, and hardware stores as people prepare for a storm. I think we've all been through this drill before. We encourage residents to be prepared.
The National Weather Service says you can start preparing days ahead of the wintry weather by doing things like having emergency supplies for your home and car.
And that was Tosin Fakile reporting. In Fredericksburg, Virginia, crews are expected to pre-treat more than 300 miles of I-95 ramps and overpasses in the Fredericksburg area. VDOT says that drivers should expect delays on I-95 southbound as trucks drive at slower speeds to spray the brine solution. And we have new information about 3 crashes, including one deadly crash on I-66 in Fairfax County. Virginia State Police say the first crash happened at mile marker 51, leaving 1 person injured. They now say that driver died from the injuries. Minutes later, another crash happened at exit 62. 2 people were taken to the hospital, and another 2-car crash happened a short time later. Police say that charges are pending in all 3 cases. Well, back here in the DMV, police in Leesburg, Virginia, are investigating a burglary at a gun store. They say that officers responded to Loudon Guns on Industrial Court before 4 a.m. for complaints of a loud noise. And when they arrived, they found a single vehicle had crashed through the front of the building. Leesburg police are asking anyone with information to help their investigation to give them a call. We're going to bring you more information as more comes into the newsroom. And staying in Virginia, the new year is bringing with it new potential laws, especially surrounding gun reform. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala is in Alexandria with the latest on new gun reform bills heading to Virginia's state Senate.
Well, one of those bills would ban concealed carry firearms at bars and restaurants that serve alcohol like the ones here, and another would ban assault-style weapons. Tightening gun laws is a big goal of the now Democrat-controlled General Assembly. Senator Andrew Eben is introducing a bill that would ban carrying assault-style weapons in public. He cited a 2019 incident when people displayed rifles at an Alexandria farmers market, which was legal since the weapons weren't loaded. Another pre-filed bill would ban assault weapons made after July 2024. But the Virginia Citizens Defense League says these bills would be deemed unconstitutional in court. The group is planning a lobby day in Richmond on January 15th in support of access to guns. Another bill would make it a crime to carry a concealed gun at a bar or restaurant that serves alcohol. Currently, it is legal if the individual carrying the concealed firearm is not drinking themselves.
You have people who are in the bar that are going to be drinking that may or may not see a concealed weapon and they want to horse around. That's going to lead to violence.
It may make it more dangerous because there have been many occasions where law-abiding citizens stopped a violent crime in action because they were armed.
Now, the Virginia legislature convenes on January 10th, but the big test will be when those bills arrive on the governor's desk. For now, in Alexandria, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Liberty, thank you. Meanwhile, in West Virginia, gender-affirming care for children is now banned with some exceptions. The law means that doctors cannot prescribe hormone therapy or puberty blockers to anyone under the age of 18. The exceptions are if the child is at risk of self-harm or suicide. It also includes if 2 doctors have diagnosed a child with severe gender dysphoria and also has their parents' permission.
Now, what we're focused on is making sure that our community understand what the law does and how, if they're eligible, they can still receive this care.
And West Virginia joins at least 19 other states in its restrictions. We're turning now to the district, and the effort continues to recall Ward 6 Councilman Charles Allen. A group of people living in the district says Allen is not doing enough to curb crime. Or the woman leading the push says while Allen has served on the council, his actions, quote, open the jail doors for violent offenders while slashing the police department budget. She also says the city is now seeing the results of his failed leadership as misguided policies. And we reached out to Allen's office, but we've not heard back. And according to D.C. law, the group pushing for the recall will need to have at least 10% of voters in Ward 6 to sign a petition to move the effort forward. Well, Michigan's Blake Corum is a Virginia native whose touchdown sealed his team's place in the national championship game. But his father says his most memorable achievement during the winter break was off the field. He says it's due to his son's work with the county-based Family Shelter Services. He held in a toy drive that helped 70 children complete their Christmas list.
Ecstatic, and it was like, Santa remembered us. Look what Santa brought me.
He's putting smiles on others that are less fortunate. That's way bigger than any touchdown he could ever score.
Oh, yeah, that's big. Go Blue. Peaches Winston, who runs the nonprofit, hopes to tell Quorum that whatever the result of next week's big game, that she's still a champion, that he's still a champion to her. And turn now to sports. We're almost at the finish line of the Washington Commanders season as the team prepares for a rivalry matchup against the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. Alex Flum has more from Ashburn, Virginia.
In Week 18, the Washington Commanders don't have much to play for. They're 4-12 and eliminated from playoff contention. There's also an expectation that there could be some seismic changes to the organization after Sunday.
There's nothing you can do about what's going to happen beyond Sunday. So the focus should be on Sunday.
Interviewing for 31 other teams if you're not, if your contract's up or whatever, so you're not going to play bad. We're not just going to go out there and just, it's the Cowboys rolled their helmet out and we're just going to be done. Like, it's not going to be that. We're going to play our hearts out and play hard football for sure.
Hosting the Cowboys this Sunday, head coach Ron Rivera has tabbed Sam Howell as the team's starting quarterback for the final game. Howell will become the first quarterback to start every game for the franchise since Kirk Cousins did it in 2017.
This time last year, I was obviously, getting ready to play my first game, and, now I have a full year kind of under my belt. But definitely just so blessed to be where I am and just to be a part of this team and a part of this organization for sure.
What Sam did and went out and did the things that we were hoping he would be able to do. He did some really good things. I thought he managed a couple of drives very well, very nicely, and, again, want to see him get an opportunity to finish it out.
Now, it's no secret that a loss on Sunday could be the best result for this Commanders team. If they lose, it could solidify their spot as picking number 2 in next year's draft. But on the other hand, a win could be a positive end to a disastrous season. Reporting in Ashburn, Alex Flum, DC News Now.
Alex, thank you. And a new reading challenge tips off across the DMV. The Washington Wizards are teaming up with DMV libraries to encourage children to read. DC News Now's Michaela Newton has more on this winter reading challenge.
The library system and the Washington Wizards have teamed up with the libraries across the DMV to get kids and teens reading this winter with the Wizards Winter Reading Challenge. The free challenge is designed for kids and teens ages 3 through 19.
It gets more people in. Part of the challenge has children coming to do programs. It has them reading books in the library.
We're the only NBA team within, I think it's like an 80-mile, 75-mile radius. That's our territory. So really just honing in and making sure that, obviously, since we're DC based, the importance I would say is just making sure that we don't neglect our surrounding states in Maryland and Virginia, and just making sure that we stay connected.
Everyone who finishes the reading challenge will be eligible for prizes, plus a chance to win 2 free tickets to the Wizards home game against the Chicago Bulls in April. Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Michaela Newton.
Michaela, thank you. Everyone who finishes the reading challenge will be eligible for prizes, plus a chance to win 2 free tickets to a Wizards home game against the Chicago Bulls, that game taking place in April.